Congressman, we had the president over the weekend say that the DOJ and the FBI were missing in action. And I have to tell you that hearing that from the president really sent a chill down my spine. Is all of the swamp, are all of our institutions corrupted? Does no one not care, anyone in power not care what's happening with this election? Besides you.
Well, I'll tell you, James, I'm baffled by it as well. The Freedom Caucus, we've sent yet another missive to Attorney General Barr asking why he didn't respond to the one we sent him weeks ago. It's simply inexplicable to me. But the president was right. He said quite some time ago, he said, it turns out that swamp is deeper and broader than he ever thought. And that was my impression when I first got there as well, is that I can't believe how broad it is. And that's because we've got this massive bureaucratic state that the president, he can name like a Bill Barr to lead the Department of Justice, but Barr has got basically he's dealing with an agency that is corrupted. I mean, where the bureaucrats that are there in every one of these agencies are so entrenched and have their own political ideologies, and they know they can outweigh any political appointment like a Barr or anybody else. And then you have establishment guys like Christopher Wray that for 3 years has just done a horrible job, in my opinion, getting things done. And, he's stonewalled the Congress, who's been trying to investigate a lot of these things. So, yes, it is. The president is correct. He's fighting wins not just to the media and the Democrats, but he's also fighting the bureaucracy and the bureaucratic state that prevents us from keeping our free institutions.
Congressman Biggs, we're having a hearing today in Arizona, much like one that we had last week in Pennsylvania, where we have Rudy Giuliani, some lawyers, some expert testimony about the problems we had with the election here in Arizona and Maricopa County in particular. What have you heard about this hearing? What do you think the impact of it could be?
Well, I'm hoping that the various people that have authority to call for a forensic audit, for instance, will do that. I mean, whether it's the board supervisors, whether it's the governor, who could do that either by himself, or he could actually call the legislature back into special session and get that done. But a forensic audit is necessary, in my opinion, to allay suspicion. So if you think, as some of these elected folks think, that it was done very well, that we have no indicia of fraud in this county, well, then let's allay the suspicion. Let's have that forensic audit and prove once and for all that this election was full of integrity. Or if it's not, then we'll see that as well. Why not do that? So I'm hoping that might be the upshot of today's presentation.
I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Dr. Ward earlier. What sense do you get that there is a will on the part of the Attorney General, Mark Brnovich, or Governor Ducey to investigate the concerns and withhold the certification?
I don't sense that there's any. I don't think they're going to withhold certification. I don't think that. I think that instead that this has to be driven from the ground. It has to be driven from legislators, and that's why I'm grateful for the legislators who've organized this event today. And I think it has to be done maybe through the court system. So hopefully some further indicia to get over some of the hurdles that we faced will appear today. But I mean, we can't, as you know, James, and you and I've talked before. I've urged, and GOSAR has urged, and Schweiker, we've urged them to do this audit for weeks now, and the powers that be refuse to do the audit. And I think that would provide incredible enlightenment on this this election.
Given the fact that we have so many people, so many powers that be, that is full resistance mode, don't care about election integrity, want President Trump out of Washington, D.C., out of power, why would he want to stay there? I mean, it's like, and I can ask the same question of you. I mean, you've been there. You see what you're up against. You're part of the Freedom Caucus, but not very popular with the rest of Congress, even within your own party. What's the motivation?
Hey, look, if you think that we're going to give up hope and give up the fight, we're not going to do that. I mean, this country is worth fighting for, man. I mean, you got to get in there. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep fighting. We win. I think in the end, the good team wins. The good team wants freedom for America. We're going to go through some severe trials if Joe Biden really takes office. We've been going through some severe trials. The left has tried to castigate and delegitimize President Trump for 4 years. And if I mention anything about it, then all of a sudden I get beat up. It doesn't matter whether we get beat up or not. We have to have the will ourselves as an American people, not because we hate people, but because instead we love people. We love this country. We want it to succeed. We want it to perpetuate. These guys don't.